He'd always smile when he saw a little silver charm. That made him laugh.
Governor Brereton Jones was one of the first donors of Old Friends Farm, back when the idea was just a yearling.
He meant everything. I mean, Governor Jones meant everything to this farm.
He wrote a $5,000 check to founder Michael Blowen.
Well, we might be here, but it wouldn't be this nice.
He says it wasn't just the money that made a difference. It was the support and 20 years of friendship that came along with it.
Seriously, without his help, I think it would have taken another decade to get to the point where we're at, because he was a great voice for us, a great voice for the horses, and I miss him terribly.
On Monday, crowds gathered at the Capitol to say goodbye to a man who championed for people and horses.
Everybody was telling great stories about him, and I realized that he touched the lives of all these different people. And I think he made a positive impact on everybody that was there, on their lives, individually.
Michael says these pastures and paddocks will always be a special place for a pair of old friends.
Some of my fondest memories are us driving around in a golf cart and looking at all the horses and showing them around to somebody who really knew what they were looking at. And it's just a terrible loss for racing. It's a terrible personal loss, and I just adored the guy.
In Georgetown, Kelsey Soto, WKYT.